Hey, my name's Christian Moon, and today I will be going over how to back up M365 using Zmanda Pro. So, a good starting point is to come to the documentation, and I'll be covering all the steps that are in the documentation, but it's a good reference just in case you prefer to do it this way. So, come to the Protected Items dropdown, click on Microsoft Office 365, and it will give you the steps. So, we'll be going through authentication, configuring selections, performance considerations, which mostly has to do with Microsoft rate limiting, and then we'll do a restore as well. So all of that information is here. There's also a good table letting you know what you're able to do in terms of restore. So some items can be restored directly to the cloud. Other items must be restored locally first and then imported into the cloud. So once again, just a good reference, docs.zmanda.com, go to the protected items section, and then click on Microsoft Office 365. With that, let me jump into the actual demo. So the first step is to log into your administrative console, and you'll come to users, and we recommend that you create a new user specifically for Microsoft 365, and that's because it does require inputting tenant admin credentials, and you want to just make sure that it's as secure as possible when you're backing up this data. So here I have my demo user. The next step is to onboard your own device. This is not a cloud-to-cloud solution. It is not a service, and so you must onboard your own device to process the data and perform the backups. Now, where you put the device can be strategic. If you put it on an Azure instance, for example, and then back up the data to Azure, that is how you will see the fastest backup in restore times. But you can also, however, install the agent on a local system and then back up your data to local storage. So it's up to you to decide how to configure that. Here I have a locally installed Zmanda Pro agent, and I will be pulling the data down and then storing it on local storage. Speaking of storage, the next step is to create a new storage vault. So once again, you have all of the range of options available to you. You can back up to cloud, you can back up locally. This can be part of your strategy. Once you create a storage vault, you can go and create the protected item itself. So you'll click on Add Protected Item, select Microsoft Office 365, and then you will need to authenticate. The easiest way to do so is to input tenant admin credentials here. Just input the email address. It will take you through the rest of the steps to authenticate. And once you go through all of the steps, it will auto-populate the application ID, tenant ID, and application secret. The second option to authenticate is to input all of those details manually. So if I come to the authentication page, you'll see that I have put in my application ID, tenant ID, and application secret. And then on the Azure side in the admin portal, you'll have to configure certain permissions and settings. All of that documentation is available on the original page that I showed you. And once you input all of these details, you'll be able to test the connection, and it will let you know if everything is connecting properly. If everything is good, you can go on and select the items that you want to back up. Now here's where you have the option to back up the entire organization, or you can break out your backups into different protected items. For example, if you wanted to retain C-level data for a longer period of time, you could select just your C-level users and back up their data in a separate protected item. In this case, I'll do the entire organization, and then if you want to granularly select the items for each user, you can click on the green pencil icon, and let's say I just want to back up the mailbox of this user. I can do so and click Save. Once you go in and configure all of the items you wish to back up, including groups, SharePoint sites, and Teams sites, you can click Next and configure the protected item as you would normally. Custom commands will run on the device where the agent is installed. Scheduling can be configured in any number of ways, and then you can also configure your retention policies. Once all of that's done, click Save, and you will be ready to back up. Once you back up, you'll be able to go and see the job logs. You may notice in the logs that there are some instances where Microsoft is rate limiting the job. And so in some cases, you'll see the performance of the backup, the speed of the backup is determined by that rate limiting. In this case, everything succeeded successfully, and now the last step is to go and perform a restore. Just like all restore jobs, you need to come to the Devices page, click on Actions, Restore, select the storage vault that you backed up to, select the protected item, so I'll select the latest, and then you can go in and you can restore all items, or you can select items. If we select items, you'll see that we can go in and we can select specific M365 objects that we want to restore. So if I want to restore a specific email that this user has sent, I can do so. I'll pick the stocks, click Next, and then for emails, you have the option to restore directly to Microsoft Office 365. You can also restore as files and folders, simulate the restore, and so on. I'll select the default option and click Restore. Now the job has been kicked off. I can come and refresh the job logs on the user's page. We'll see that it's running. We can go into the report, refresh, and see that everything is happening how we want it to. So this concludes the M365 demo. If you have any further questions or want to purchase M365 backups for your organization, feel free to reach out to sales@zmanda.com. If you have any support issues, you can reach out to support@zmanda.com, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.